So today we're going to be going over some trending men's fragrances that I think every guy should at least try here in 2024. Chances are, if you're keeping up with fragrance content these days, you're seeing these talked about quite a bit. And I remember when I was first starting out, I was seeing things talked about all the time, and I had no idea what they smelled like because I hadn't tried them yet. And it's kind of like that whole FOMO ordeal where fear of missing out. You hear everybody talking about something in particular, but you haven't tried it yet. And then it just makes you want to try it even more. And you feel inferior because you haven't smelled it yet. You don't know what everybody else is talking about. And it's not necessarily a good feeling. And so what I wanted to do today was compile a list of scents that a lot of people are talking about right now. Not even just fragrance influencers or YouTubers or bloggers or whatever it is, right? But, even on forums and reviews or whatever, you're seeing these scents brought up a lot. And so I think it's important to address that and kind of bring that to attention so that you can at least put these on your list to try them out. That way you'll know what people are talking about. And when you hear this scent brought up or this scent brought up, you'll know what it is that they're talking about at least. So then you won't feel left in the dark. And we need to start off with a super popular niche brand here. And I would say this niche brand right now is the most trendy brand there is. Again, in regards to niche, this is Parfums de Marly Altair. Okay. And so, at one point, Creed was kind of it in terms of trendy niche brands that everybody was talking about and that everybody wanted to own. It was Creed. Not so much anymore. They have, seriously slowed down their production rate, and they have continued to raise their prices on existing scents that they've already had out for years at this point. And so, at that point, when you're not putting out anything new and you're continuing to raise the prices year over year, people are going to start to lose interest. It just is common sense. And so Parfums de Marly is a niche brand that has maintained a level of consistency. And for the most part, their prices have stayed the same, at least in terms of retail. Now, here lately, discounter-wise, there's been a little bit of a shift where you could get these at a price below retail almost anywhere before. That has changed recently. And now only a select few discounters will actually provide these below retail. And so you need to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on the gray market kind of environment, so that way you're getting the best deal possible. I would say for most of the PDMs, anything under $200 is a good buy. And anything below that, you're getting closer and closer to retail price, and it gets more expensive. But Altair is their newest release. It's very vanilla heavy, a lot of sweet notes in here. And you'll see this one kind of gets compared to Mercedes-Benz Club Black a little bit. And that's not a bad comparison. It doesn't have the same type of overwhelmingly sweet, syrupy vanilla, but there's definitely a lot of vanilla in here. This is one that I've been wearing a lot this winter. You've seen me talk about it in other videos before. It's really good. It's a really interesting scent. And I think on the surface level, it might not be something that seems super interesting to a lot of people. But as you dive in further and you start to wear it more, you start to smell it more often, you'll start to pick up on certain specific kind of aspects of the scent that you didn't before, and it gets even better. I know for me, when I first tried it, it smelled nice, but as I wore it more and more and spent more time with it, it's gotten better with time. So I would definitely recommend you at least give this one a sample. Make sure you wear that sample multiple times, and it might start to grow on you as you start to kind of, spend more time with the DNA overall. I think this could really start to run up against Layton in terms of their popularity level because of that mass appeal and the sweetness and everything going on with it. It's just going to take time, but I think this really has a lot of potential, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. It's brand new. So definitely try this one out as soon as you can. Next up, we have Brioni Eau de Parfum, just the original. So at this point, they have the Eau de Parfum Intense. They have Eclat, which is also an EDP. They have Brioni Eau de Parfum Essentiel. A whole bunch of them, right? They're all EDPs, which is really cool, by the way, because a lot of designer brands and niche brands will start off with an EDT, kind of weak sauce, and then work up to an EDP, and then maybe they'll toss you a parfum at some point, but then they'll also make sure to throw in an eau de cologne or, you know, an eau fresh, eau de toilette, going back to that concentration again. Brioni has stuck with an EDP concentration throughout the entirety of the line, and that's something I respect. And again, this is the original, the EDP. This is kind of where this line has all started. There's a lot of other good ones, and I like all of the flankers a lot. But I think because of the release date of this one, the fact that it's the oldest currently within this line, you're going to see this one talked about the most, and I recommend trying it out. It's all about the violet leaves. Get some woods and some musk in here. It's fresh, it's ozonic, it's clean, woody. It smells really nice. It's very versatile, and it's a great scent for the price. $60 to $70 on discounters. You really can't go wrong with this one. Next up, we have a Zoro Chrome Extreme. So you've heard me talk about this one quite a bit, I'm sure. You've probably seen this one around elsewhere also. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think it's going to be going anywhere as we get into the spring and summer season. So, you know, just kind of a heads up, this stuff is great. It is very similar to Acqua di Gio Profondo, which is a little bit more than double the price of this one. And it's a great summertime scent. So it has those kind of mineral notes, orange, sea notes, aquatic notes, smell going on with this here. Smells fantastic. It's a super unique summer scent overall. And like I just mentioned there, Acqua di Gio Profondo, it's in excess of, you know, $90, $100. This one is in that $40 range. So there's a lot of savings here. And also one thing I want to kind of point to your attention as well, Acqua di Gio Profondo and Zoro Chrome Extreme were released within the same year, within a couple months of each other. So I don't know the full details of that there, but just from what I've seen online, that's kind of how it played out. And so, you know, it's not like Profondo was released and then a couple years later this came out. It was the same year. And so if you're worried about clones and you know, you don't want to wear clones, this isn't that extreme. And so, you know, they came out pretty close to each other. It's definitely one to check out if you're on a budget, but you want that very unique aquatic DNA that you really can't achieve anywhere else. And real quick, I want to jump in here and let you guys know that you could enter to win 15 brand new in-box fragrances or $500 in cash. So within this, you could enter to win anything from Armani code Absolu, which is discontinued, very hard to find, Armani Acqua di Gio Parfum, the new Armani Stronger With You Amber, Le Male Le Parfum, Mancera Tonka Cola, and so on, or you could take home that $500 cash prize. All you have to do is click the link down below. You can see how to get entered there. Best of luck to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I worked really hard on it trying to figure out what you guys would want to be able to enter to win. So hopefully those things interest you. Now let's get back to the video. Next up, we have Eau de Parfum Intense, and this one was probably one of my most worn new releases of 2023. This stuff is amazing, and I love it. I am a huge fan of YEDP and Y Le Parfum. That's no surprise if you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, but this one really does it well because they reduce the overwhelming sweetness of the apple that is found in the EDP and the Parfum and even somewhat in the EDT. That's one of the main points of criticism that the Y line receives. And that's simply that it's just too sweet, it's too cloying, it's too much. This one reduces that. There's no apple in here at all. You really don't get a ton of sweetness with this one. Instead, it's all about the aromatics, some of that amber wood in here, but that's basically it. They really did a good job of balancing this one out overall. I don't know for sure if this one is going to take off as much as the EDP and the Le Parfum. It's really hard to compete with those, but I will say if those gave you some trouble and they were a bit too sweet, this is the solution to that problem. Next up, we have Invictus Victory, just the original. Now, the new elixir is great, but I think because this one is a little bit more well established, at this moment in time, you'll probably be hearing about this one a tiny bit more. This smells great, and I think the Victory line so far has been a big improvement compared to some of their flankers in the past. Invictus Legend, Invictus Intense, even the original Invictus, which isn't a flanker, but obviously the original. They're making these at least a little bit more interesting and exciting, and I can respect that. And this one here is no difference as well. So you're getting the sweet notes in here, that's great, but it also doesn't really have the aquatic kind of bubblegummy feel that the original Invictus has that a lot of people don't really like. So for sure, it's a sweet scent. It's no surprise, and that's kind of the new trend these days, 2023, 2024. It's sweet men's scents, but it doesn't have the bubblegummy nature, and I think that's a big bonus. Next up, we have Zoro, the most wanted EDP. So not the Parfum, which I also really like, just the EDP. So this has some amber, Tonka, also some kind of toffee, kind of chocolatey tiramisu notes in here as well. Really like how this one comes across. It's a gourmand, sweet scent with a little bit of a fresh undertone. Zoro Wanted by Night, it's fantastic. I love it. Zoro the Most Wanted Parfum is also one of my favorites, but I think overall the Most Wanted EDP is talked about a lot more at this point. You know, Wanted by Night had its hype phase, and that's kind of started to fizzle out a little bit, and so this one is up next. You know, the Parfum hasn't quite contributed to that hype as much as this one has, and so this is kind of where we're at right now. I don't foresee a Zoro, you know, giving up on this line, so I don't think it's out of the possibility that we're going to see another wanted flanker soon, but this is a really good one that's very sweet, very trendy, very modern, that a lot of people are going to be talking about. And let's keep it moving with Armani Stronger With You. Absolutely. It's got rum, tonka bean, some chestnut in here, sweet, boozy, a little bit woody, sweet, smells fantastic. And I love this one so much because it's a little bit more mature than the original and intensely, but also not quite as challenging as Stronger With You Oud or Leather, which both are exclusive editions. And like I said, you can enter to win the new Stronger With You Amber along with 14 other scents at the link down below. But even that one compared to this isn't going to be quite as mass pleasing. I would say when you take the entire line into consideration, Stronger With You absolutely is going to be your best bet to purchase, because it has the performance of a true Parfum concentration. It has that little bit of booziness, but it still has that mass-pleasing, sweet, trendy smell. I would just say if you were going to only buy one, buy Absolutely, and you could forget about everything else. Now, obviously, if you could get one for super dirt cheap, that would be a great way to go as well. But spending, you know, over $100 on one bottle, go for Absolutely and be done with it. Let's keep this one rolling with Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum. This one has violet leaves, clary sage, and cedarwood. That's the only 3 notes that they give you. And no surprise, that's kind of the new trend. Like I said, this video is all about trends, and another new trend is 3 notes. 1 top note, 1 mid note, and 1 base note. Why that is, I have no idea, but that's what they do. And it's kind of comical because all designer brands and even niche brands, a lot of them are doing that now. when they're not necessarily associated with each other. And so it is what it is, but I guess there's nothing we can do about it. And to be fair, that's kind of giving you the basics of what you need to know about this one. It's kind of fresh, ozonic, woody, with a little bit of a kind of bite underneath it, a little bit of a texture just coming from the type of woods that they're using here, the cedar wood. It's something that's very clean, easygoing, fresh, and versatile, and it's an explorer flanker, so a lot of people are going to be talking about this. We're going to end this video with two cheapies. The first one is Halloween Man X, has whiskey, tonka, and coffee. It's an overwhelmingly sweet scent that is great for wintertime. Not a ton of coffee, but a lot of whiskey and tonka to give it just a nice sweetness, great evening out, date night scent type of personality overall. Something that you can get for around $35 to $40. That's not going to let you down. As long as it's a little bit cold outside, you can wear this one. It's great, great mass-pleasing scent that you're not going to go wrong with. And we're going to switch gears with this last one. It's still affordable, $35 to $40. But it's more for summertime, spring and summer. It's Missoni Wave. This is a cross between Versace Pour Homme and Chanel Allure Homme Sport. You know, the Versace is around $40. The Chanel is a little bit more than double than that, about $100. It takes the best of both worlds and combines them into one. And what is that? It takes the overwhelming freshness from the Versace and combines it with kind of the creamy, sweet tonka bean nature of the Chanel, mixes them both together. And so instead of buying both of those and layering them up to kind of give off the same smell, you can buy one, the Missoni, and you get the best of both worlds at a fraction of the cost. Again, this is about the price of the Versace on its own, and it's a great purchase overall. This is one of the best signature scent DNAs out there. So if you're a guy that only wants to own a handful of scents and you want to be able to wear them for a lot of different situations, this will be a great place to go. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Those are some trending men's fragrances that are ones you can't get away from. You're going to hear about these all the time, and so I recommend if you want to stay in the loop, you give these a try. That way you'll know what people are talking about. I will link each and every one of these down below to discounters. And again, if you want to get entered to win 15 brand new inbox fragrances or $500 of cash, you can hit the first link down below and figure out how to get entered there. There's going to be 2 drawings, so 2 chances to win. The first will be for that main fragrance bundle, including Armani Code Absolu, Discontinued, Stronger With You Amber, Aqua de Joe Parfum, Bion Eau de Parfum Intense, and many more. The second will be for that $500 cash prize. So get entered down below. That's going to end here in about a month, a little bit less than a month. So if you want to get entered, have a little bit of fun, hit the link down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.